Finals 10-8 over Robbie Green. Phil Taylor is through, beats Terry Jenkins 10-6, trailed 4-zip. Gary Anderson is in all sorts of bother. The 2008 BDO World Champion Mark Webster leads 7-3. And then look at that for a tasty tie. James Wade takes on RVB, Raymond van Barneveld. The finishing from Mark Webster has been absolutely sensational. Finishes of 92, 80, 96, 64, 127 and 108. Put into the mix 3 180s. And Gary's inability to hit doubles early on, because he's been hitting them recently, Stu.
The world champion now has got to produce some world champion darts if he wants to stay in this tournament.
Gary's thought process now has to be stop Mark from reaching 9 legs.
He hasn't broken Webster once.
96.
Doesn't mean that he won. Hasn't to press.
140.
Webster will be prepared, I'm sure, for the Anderson barrage. Anderson will aggressively go after Webster here, and well, he knows he has to. Webster can maintain
57.
his standard of finishing, but crucially on his own throw, he will win.
Not a bad old leg, is it? Wow. 41 left after just 9 darts.
But he has to do it on the Webster throw.
140.
Mark's not throwing first, so let him do it on this leg first. Go on, Gary, tops, there you go, 11 darter, 7-4. But you're right, Stuart. He needs darts like that to break this man's throw, you feel, because he's playing solid, Mark Webster. The mistakes are at a premium.
134.
There he goes again with the treble 19s. And here goes Gary again with the treble 20s. I think Anderson's fired up, do you?
Yes. Gary, 2 maximums in the previous leg. What he would do for another now. Go on, Gary! 5 perfect darts.
140.
All about winning the leg for Gary Anderson, but here comes Webster. That's unlucky, unlucky.
123.
Left 41 after 9, previous leg. Not this time, and that's a slip. It's a poor visit in that situation.
Well, Anderson needs this.
He was in control of this leg up to that 59. Treble 18 will leave bullseye. Treble 18 will leave 32.
90.
Well, it may not make any difference. The way that Webster's been finishing, 70% on the doubles. Tops to go within 2 legs of victory. Never in doubt.
Well, I don't normally own up to that. I didn't think that was going to go in. I thought the first one was so far over to the right that he'd pull the next one, but full credit to him. He's going to be feeling it about now. Has to be. Because you get to that point where you always reach a point where you think, look, if I just keep straight and steady, I'll win this game. Because he's got such a lead now, and he's so near the finishing line that you do think that. You can't help it.
Well, it'll be absolutely crucial again, though, Wayne. Last dart in hand, Anderson sat on 32, and it's a different game. Webster misses, Anderson hits, it's a different game. But the story of this match is that Webster hasn't been missing.
Another!
3 and 3 legs. But he hasn't yet broken the Mark Webster throw.
Brilliant performance from Mark Webster so far. Really is. It's a joy to watch. 4 for tops.
84.
Gary Anderson is finding himself under pressure every time he approaches the board.
56.
Vintage
Gary
Webster.
40.
Double 10.
20.
Well,
Marking for
I
130.
wonder.
Gary Anderson does not want to see the first dart hit the 60 bed.
He hasn't missed a lot, has he?
40. Gary requires 20.
To stay in the tournament.
Gary Anderson.
8-5.
14 flag mark to throw first. Game on.
When your opponent still wants 2 legs, you feel like you've got an out. You feel like you can make a mistake. When they only want 1, you feel under pressure and it can all get on top of you because you're thinking, don't make a mistake, rather than being aggressive. You cannot be passive in this game.
Well, only 57 from Webster.
60.
But look at the response from the world champion. Only 60 in return.
This is not going to be an easy game for Mark Webster to win because he's not used to beating Gary.
97.
He's lost the last 11. He's lost to Gary more than any other player on the planet. You've got to fight not just the player, but yourself as well.
Doing so much right here, Mark Webster. Doing everything right. 148. I mean, that's absolutely brilliant for Webster.
140.
He hasn't blinked yet, has he?
No. Treble 17. That is absolutely magnificent. Gary about now is thinking, are you kidding me?
139. Mark, you require 36.
To go within 1 leg with a fantastic victory. 9 out of 13 on the doubles, Mark Webster. 5 legs left. Anderson has to win the lot. The world champion
85.
on the brink. Mark Webster on the brink. Huge, huge upset.
$43.
9 out of 13.
120.
They've been on the end of fantastic combinations. Not just 1 dart at tops, or it's been better than that. It's been it shows you that a 95 average played
96.
in the right way, hit at the right time, can beat 104 average. That's what it shows you.
James Wade's made a habit out of it, hasn't he, throughout his career?
125.
Literally made a living from it. Gary would just want to get this leg won with the minimum of fuss.
131.
Well, that'll help. Great visit.
2 breaks of throw for Mark Webster. None for Gary Anderson.
96. Gary requires 40.
1 down. 4 to go
Gary Anderson.
for Gary Anderson. For Mark Webster, just 1 more leg.
What Mark cannot do is think, right, keep straight, just don't make mistakes, got to be aggressive.
58.
First mistake.
The last one's always the most difficult.
100.
Fact. Oh, it's a sight if you're a Webby fan. Looking away.
99.
Only 99 after that first start. He'd be disappointed.
Well, Anderson's average is around 104,
58.
105, and he's 1 leg away from defeat. The stat of the match, 69%. Mark Webster's checkout success rate.
59.
Well, Mark there, throwing himself at the board with a second dart, losing his balance, and that meant he was low on the third. What we were saying he shouldn't do, protect, is exactly what Mark has done so far in this leg. Winning is so
99.
difficult when you're playing someone like Gary Anderson, because you know at any moment you make a mistake and you'll get punished.
100.
Oh, what a dart from Webster.
This is the visit. Another treble, and it could be curtains.
140.
Gotta go, Gary Anderson.
23.
1, 2, 3. Treble 18. Bullseye to save the match.
98.
Well,
Argue required 46.
for a stunning victory, Mark Webster.
That is the match won. Gary Anderson, the world champ, is out. Mark Webster, that is one of the best performances you will see. Forget the averages. It was all about the finishing. He played the player. The timing was perfect. He's through to the quarterfinals. What a match we had. Coming up, we have James Wade, and he will play Raymond van Barneveld.
Webster smiling as he made his way up the stage. Gary Anderson, the man under pressure, the world champion, feeling the full force of the Welshman. 71% on the doubles for Webster. Anderson was chasing the game throughout. Couldn't live with the form of the former world champion, and he roars into the quarterfinals. This is what we've seen. Robert Thornton 10-8 over Robbie Green. Phil Taylor 10-6 over Terry Jenkins. He was 4-0 down in that one, Taylor. Gary Anderson averaging 104, but the finishing of Webster proving too much. 10-6 Webster. We might have saved the best to last. Wade against Barney. What's going to happen there? Quarterfinal draw is looking pretty special. Webster will take on the winner of our final match. Robert Thornton as a showdown with Phil the Power Taylor. Let's hear with Rod Studd now talking to Mark Webster.
Mark, really well done and well played. You look absolutely delighted and you have every right to. Just sum up your feelings for us.
Yeah, confused really. I didn't think I played that great, but it was that game again I keep referring to. When I play these guys, if they don't play like they can, I've got the B game that competes to their B game, and I took my chance once I got ahead of him. And I knew he wasn't on his game. He didn't play like he can, could he? But that's when I beat these guys, and I've done it again tonight. And that's my trademark. That's how I've made my career, and I'm going to carry on, hopefully.
It's a far cry from the other night when you were pacing around in front of a television set, relying on the result involving Wade and Brown just to get through, and you didn't even know you'd be in this stage.
Yeah, of course, I was a bit nervy. I mean, I'll be honest, I was 70-30 thinking I was going to be in this stage, but Keegan can play, so yeah, pacing. And I just wanted to set that type. But Gary, I want to see where I was at. Gary didn't play like he can, but that's how I made my career. I've beaten all the top players when they don't perform, and I don't let those chances slip me by, and I won't do it in the next round, I won't do it in the round after that. That's how I made my career, and fingers crossed, I can play a lot better than that. I didn't think I was great, I didn't feel fluent, I felt a bit nervy if anything, but I got the job done, so I'm happy.
Look, you've had many great wins in your career, obviously winning the Lakeside, beating Phil Taylor in the World Championship, but how does knocking the world champion out on this big stage compare with those big wins you've had?
Yeah, massive, because I haven't beaten Gary for a long time, and I've played him and I haven't really competed. Like I said, he dropped his level, but I held a steady level. I think I finished well, I think that's the main thing. And little legs where he went off 180, I still managed to creep my way back into those legs. And yeah, I just did what I had to do. Once I got a lead, I defended that lead very well, and I'm pleased.
Just give us a quick thought on the game coming up, because that's obviously your next opponent, James or Raymond van Barneveld.
Yeah, well, it's going to be tough. It's easy to prepare for in the sense that it's going to be tough. I've got to be on my game. There's no like a surprise package or either. I have to play next round, and that's how I like it, really.
Good, well played tonight. We'll see you in the quarterfinals.
Oh, cheers, thank you, cheers.
Really good performance. I think it's sunk in quite yet. 71% of the doubles, 94.